Things are getting hot and hotter. Githurai seems to be burning. A few hours ago, as I speak, some locals of Githurai took to the streets, blocking roads, burning tires, chanting one term. And some are now not saying one term, but half a term, insinuating William Ruto, the president, might not even reach 2027. I want us to have a look at the short clip from Githurai, but before we have a look at that, let me start by saying this. Today, 25th of June 2025, Kenyans are commemorating 1 year after Gen Z stormed and occupied parliament. On that day, several were killed, maimed, and injured. So Kenyans are commemorating 1 year since that happened. Let's have a look at this short clip from Githurai before we proceed.
One time ni kama imeanza huku ni half time, wanasema half time. Dada, sahi ni half time, si one time. Half time.
Let's put that into perspective. If you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give the video a like. Let's proceed. Githurai is in Kiambu County. Kiambu County is on the mountain. For so many years, the mountain has been saying that those who have been protesting were spoiling their businesses. That's a fact. What do you think has changed? Because looking at these protests, the mountain is becoming the epicenter of anti-William Ruto demonstrations and protests. What do you think has changed? Is the mountain honest when it takes to the streets? Are they justified to block roads? Let's answer all these questions, ladies and gentlemen. On the mountain, there are some residents of Mount Kenya who are protesting because Rigathi Gachagua is not in government. They are protesting because William Ruto impeached Rigathi Gachagua. If Rigathi Gachagua today rejoins the government, then some of these individuals we are seeing saying one term, half a term, they will change a tune. They will start pressing William Ruto. And they'll be very loud saying 2 terms. So it's important for Kenyans to understand that some of those people you are seeing there chanting half a term, 1 term, they are doing that because William Ruto did impeach Rigathi Gachagua through parliament. It's also possible and very likely that some might be on the streets because they feel William Ruto has failed to deliver. But in my considered opinion, such people, they might be a minority on the mountain. A majority singing 1 term, half a term, mostly they are doing that not because William Ruto has failed to deliver, but because William Ruto impeached Rigathi Gachagua. Kenyans should understand these games. Why were they saying those who are demonstrating in those past years were spoiling their businesses? They were saying that because they were in government. Their leaders were in government, maybe as the president or as deputy president or as some senior government officials. That's why they were saying those who were demonstrating in those past demonstrations were spoiling their businesses. When they say William Ruto will be one term, it's Kenyans who decide. The mountain alone cannot make William Ruto one term or half a term. Kenyans will make that decision. And in the past elections, it has actually not even been Kenyans per se, but the instruments or the arms of government charged with the responsibility of delivering free, fair elections. So it's not actually Kenyan per se to determine whether William Ruto will be one term or have a term or two terms. But there are some instruments of power, some arms of government that do decide that, unless things have changed. But if 2027 elections will be done as the previous ones, then Kenyans will have very little say on who becomes the president in 2027. That's a decision that will be made by some arms, some instruments of power. If also you look at the mountain, I've always maintained, and I still repeat, the day the mountain will understand, or the day the mountain will know how to vote in good leaders, I think that the day, as Kenyans, as a country, we will start moving in the right direction. As it is right now, there is still a very big problem on the mountain. The mountain has got a very high affinity for useless leaders. Yes, William Ruto has not delivered. Look at the leaders being propped or being fronted by the mountain. Worse off leaders than even William Samoei Ruto. And I'm very sure come 2027, the mountain will not look at the capability of leaders they will elect, but they will vote out of emotions. And that's something that now Kenyans understand. The mountain will vote out of emotions. So when you see them saying one term, two terms, it's not that they want good leadership, but they want to vote in leaders out of emotions. Leaders who can be worse off than the current crop of leaders. And until that day, the mountain will know how to vote. Kenyans will still be moving around in circles. So Kenyans should understand the games being played here. It's very wrong to block roads. It's very wrong to burn tires on the roads. What the Constitution anticipates is that a demonstrator has to demonstrate peacefully. And that demonstrator should not be armed. By blocking roads, you are now becoming chaotic. You are now not peaceful. And the law then does not protect you. So you must be peaceful and you should not be armed. That's only when the law will protect you. The government too has to obey the law. The government should not interfere with peaceful demonstrating Kenyans. And we are also here because of the wrongness of this William Ruto's government. The government started breaking the law, and that's why also some Kenyans are taking the law into their own hands. Let me stop it there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's meet in our next analysis. Thank you.